Here is my journal entry for December 2nd. I just realized what day this is. Um, this is someone I know's birthday, and I didn't even realize it. And I don't think I'm supposed to communicate with them anymore. So I didn't call. I didn't wish them a happy birthday. I didn't answer my phone. And it is 6:17 p.m. as I clicked record, which has a 17. And 6 plus a 1 is a 7 and another 7. Now it's 6:18. So it's December 2nd. And it was 6:17. I didn't do any of this on purpose. I just thought that I'd go ahead and record my journal entry before I got too tired and before I forget everything. So today was really snowy. The snow plows were going like late last night, but then I think it snowed more after. And so there was a lot of snow. There was a lot of snow all over the place. There was a lot of snow on the sidewalks, and I could bike, but it's just a little more difficult. So I actually biked on the road. The road was safer, but it was like slushy and dirty. And it wasn't a huge deal. I felt pretty safe biking on the road because it wasn't slippery. But the snow plows, they push the snow and then they divert it up onto the sidewalks. So I normally like to go on the sidewalk because I'm not asking for trouble. I'm trying to make my city a safer place for cyclists, but at the same time, like, if I have a sidewalk, I will always choose a sidewalk over going in the road. So, I got up, had my alarm set, went to go get my food at the soup kitchen, and I met some new people today. So I believe now my situation, we already know that God places us where we need to be, and there are missions for everyone. We can choose to accept or not accept. So it appears that my missions have to do with going into the underbelly. Not really the underbelly, it's just a soup kitchen. But my missions have to do with what the poor deal with. People that rely on charity, people that don't have any friends or family and they don't have any help, people that need to go to the soup kitchen. And not only are they blocked and not able to get help, there are a lot of homeless shelters that will help people, assist them. But if you have a home, then it's more difficult, and then they want you to probably want you to submit documentation, which I understand. That makes sense. But unfortunately, the only people that have no place to stay are addicts. So most all of the homeless shelters are full of addicts, and that's it. And regular people cannot get in because they might have. Regular people will either have their own house, their own apartment. It can be in a shabby, horrible shape, or they'll sleep in their car, or maybe a friend will let them stay, or something. But addicts don't have this because addicts will steal. So it's not that no one wants to help them, but you can't because they will, when they're on drugs, they're not sane. So, and they'll still, everything and trade it for drugs. So they can't stay with friends and family, and they also can't have any wealth. There's no way that they could get enough money to be able to pay their bills because all their money goes into getting their next fix, which is why they need to be in the mental institutions. But anyways, I'm in the position that I am because I am a homeowner. Now, this home is paid in cash. It is a cheap house. So, this costs less than a lot of the new cars. My house costs less than a lot of new cars do this, in 2025. So I have no working vehicle. So people might look and like, oh, you have a house, but I don't have a vehicle, and my house was inexpensive. But at the same time, people came in and sabotaged and destroyed my house. And then when I needed help, like, you might spend your own money, and then you get sabotaged or your home is wrecked, and then at that point you don't have a safety net. And God also put me in this position to be an advocate for women that were stay-at-home moms. I was a homeschool mom for 17, well, yeah, I was a mom and a homeschool mom for 17 years. I was a stay-at-home mom for more than 17 years. But we are not necessarily provided for in the way that we should be. So when it comes to things like alimony or being provided for after a separation, then there's not a lot of resources because all of the resources are going to addicts. So women are supposed to be provided for and taken care of. And they are supposed to be able to stay home with their children so they don't have to have abortions, and send them away to government schools to learn how to use a litter box. But the whole system is wrong, and look what we have got for it. And when the mothers are at work and the children are watching TV, they're watching TV learning how to behave because they weren't emulating their parents. Their parents were gone. The responsible parents were at a 9 to 5. So then the children were watching television, and what they learned in school is planned too. There are narcissist children. There are narcissists in the school. The children can be evil and wicked too. And I'm sorry to tell you, some children will be in hell. Some children are narcissists, and God allows this because, as it's stated in certain scriptures, that had they continued to live, they could have lived 1,000 years. They still would not have repented and would have continued probably to even do worse sins and then be in even more trouble. So they never would have repented. God knew this. So, but anyways, the whole system is wrong. So God has me in this situation where I am forced to be poor. I am forced to live in some ways like a homeless, but I have a roof over my head, over a lot of my house, but not all my house. So I have some roof over my head, and I have heat, but it's not as hot as like most. I keep my heat at 65, and I don't go upstairs, so I think the upstairs is probably a little cold. But this room right here is fine for me because I just wear a lot of coats. And then since I'm on the bike, then I don't want to have too much temperature shock. But like, what happens to stay-at-home moms when there isn't alimony, when they're not provided for, when they didn't have a career built up, and they shouldn't have? We shouldn't have that stress. You have that stress, then you don't have the ability to relax and enjoy your life. You don't have the ability to relax and just really enjoy spending time with your family. So anyways, at the soup kitchen, there's all types of people, though. And at the same time, not just stay-at-home moms. All people that end up in the soup kitchen, the problems they have, I've got to experience. So God shows me what some of these people go through. In working with charities, God has shown me through firsthand experience what certain people go through. There are demonic agents working in the charities, working in the churches, working in all these groups. They will sabotage things. They will ruin people's belongings. They will disregard, like, certain traumas that people have and just get certain things disgusting and dirty. Like, they will touch plumbing, like urine waste, and then they'll touch other things like the fridge too. This is all, like, I believe God has had me experience this to know. Is that you just get one narcissist in these charities, they wreak havoc, and then that person has no recourse. There's no one, like, if the person in control or one person is a narcissist and then they smear them behind their back, and this person tries to say, oh, they did this, and then they sound crazy and no one takes them seriously when someone actually was targeting them and doing things that were really inappropriate. So now I have the training to know what to look for, to read the facial expressions, to know, if somebody has been disrespecting, traumatizing somebody that needed help. They're not getting the help they need, they're leaving, and things still don't work. So I'm getting to experience the problems of the poor. And the soup kitchens in all these charities are overrun with addicts, to the point where the Trump mental institutions need to take these people in and take care of it then. Because there are just people that don't have a lot of money, and they don't have access to these services, because they maybe don't even feel safe to take their children. Or they're just all being exhausted. Like, the homeless shelter is full, and there's addicts there, so if you're not an addict, then you might not feel so comfortable staying someplace with addicts. and getting your stuff stolen. but but I don't think this is right, because it's meant to help people, and it's not helping the addicts, and it's not helping the regular people either. But anyways, addiction is a big problem, and this was one of the attacks of the enemy. They've done it in like probably every country. In some countries, governments have cracked down, and they even have the death penalty in some cases for drug dealers. And maybe that is fair. If something happened resulted in deaths of like hundreds or thousands of people, then yeah, the death penalty could absolutely be fair, and they would deserve it. But what happened today was I biked to the soup kitchen, and I parked my bike, and somebody just had a bike sitting there. It wasn't even locked up, I don't think. Maybe it was, and I didn't see it. Maybe they had a lock on the bike to prevent it from being able to be used. But it wasn't actually locked. It wasn't actually. Oh my gosh! Sorry. It was just freestanding, but they. Anyways, I went in and I saw the spotter for the Narcissist. I haven't seen the Narcissist recently, so maybe they're busy on some other mission, or maybe they heard some things about me. Because I told them I have a fan club. It's like go ask if you. So I think they went to go ask and find some stuff out about me, because I told them, yeah, go ask the other people spying on me. So maybe they're finding some things out. And maybe I will never see him again, but I kind of doubt that. So I don't know what's going on there. But the spotter was there, and I saw him, and I'm sure he saw me. Because I sat, there's rows of tables. He was at one facing me, and I was at the other one facing him, like a table away. So he surely saw me. But they had a huge lunch today. Can't even remember what all it was. It was good. They've been having fried chicken, so my hands get real. I used to not even eat any meat that wasn't kosher and halal. In this case, I have to blend in, but at the same time, it's already donated. Me eating it or not makes no difference. It has already been donated. It has already been cooked, and it's being given away. And a lot of this stuff is probably it's not expired yet, but they can't, they got to get it off the shelves, or it's stuff from a restaurant. At the end of the day, they can't use it the next day, and it's a lot, so they send it to the soup kitchen too. So whether I eat it or not makes absolutely no difference. That animal still died, so me purchasing it will cause them to order more. But just whatever's left over getting donated, if I eat it, it's used. If I don't eat it, it's not used. This is not the same as pork. We are never allowed to eat pork under any circumstance. We are not allowed to eat pork under any circumstance. A lot of these sicknesses are actually spiritual, and you can be possessed or influenced by demons from eating certain foods that have spells cast on them. This is true. Pork is really bad. If you read in the Bible, Jesus actually allowed these evil spirits to possess pigs. They asked him, and he said yes. So this is something to consider in the Bible. The evil spirits that were possessing a human, they asked Jesus if they would be allowed to possess a pig. So that means that they normally weren't allowed to enter into an animal, but they asked about pigs. And Jesus allowed them. Why would Jesus allow them? I'm going to think logically here. Because there were rules and laws for ethical slaughter where the animal would die quickly and not suffer. And this was like slicing the jugular so they'd bleed out in a painless way. Well, you can't do that with a pig. And this disqualified it from being food at all. No one that was a believer was able to eat it because you couldn't kill it the way that Jewish law required. So people knew, they recognized it wasn't food. So when the evil spirits asked Jesus, can we possess these pigs? Jesus said yes. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said he let them go in pigs. So you really don't want to eat, and you can tell when someone has eaten a pig. So I when I'm at the soup kitchen line, I tell them I don't eat ham, and I don't eat ham. But I eat the other meats there. And they had fried chicken, they had a lot of fruit. I can't even remember what all I got. They had soup, but it was pretty bland. I'll just say, like, there wasn't any seasoning or onion and garlic in it. It seemed, because that's the good stuff. So I was like not really a big fan of the soup. I didn't really eat that, but I brought it back. It was like a bean soup. Let's see what else. Oh, I got a chocolate donut. I think there was a salad earlier. I can't. There was some fried mushrooms again. They get these a lot. I wonder where they're from. They must be from some restaurant nearby. And then they just always have big trays of these fried mushrooms, and they're pretty good. They're not the best thing ever though. It's maybe something like I would expect to find at Walmart in a bag, like, but it's deep fried. So, anyways, I can't even remember what all. I can't even remember. Oh, they had mashed potatoes with gravy again. That was really good. I like that, mashed potatoes and gravy. And then I brought back a lot for my dogs, and they were so happy. While I was at the soup kitchen this time, I'm by myself. I don't have a spotter, so I get really hot. I have to take my coat off, and then, like, I don't want someone to steal it. And then I have food that I'm going to take home. I don't want someone to poison it. And so I'm trying to, like, keep my hands clean enough that I don't have to go rinse them off in the bathroom. If they're just a little messy, I can use, like, the water in a napkin, but they've been having fried chicken. And I'm sorry, I gotta wash my hands. So what do I do? Looking for somebody. Well, today there was a woman that worked there, and I'd never spoke to her before. She was out, I think, eating or like, walking around and talking to people. So maybe she was gone for Thanksgiving. And she had, like, kind of a warm, like, fuzzy looking turtleneck on, and it was pink, and she just looked real nice. And I noticed it, and then she was just talking to everybody, and at one point, I was like, asked her if she'd be able to watch my stuff while I went to the bathroom or washed up or something, or, got something to drink. And then she sat down and we talked for a while. And I told her a little bit about my story, and some of my problems, which I'm not going to go into detail here. Maybe she can help. But then she also had some problems too. She said, "Do you want me to pray for you?" And I said, and then I asked her, "Is there something you need me to pray for you for?" And she said, "Oh, no one's ever asked me. No one's ever asked me that before. If I needed them to pray for me." So, anyways, after I washed up, I said, well, actually, before then, someone came up and she said, "Mind if I pray for you?" And I mentioned something like, "You gotta be careful when people say they're gonna pray for you." And she, was like, "What's that?" And I don't remember exactly what. And I said, "Not everyone prays to the same God." And she said, "I pray to the one true living God." I think she said, "I pray to the one true living God." I said, "I do too." Not everyone does. You gotta be careful, because they'll actually use that prayer as a way to cast a spell over you, and it's more powerful with a group of people there in a circle. But anyways, but I actually trust her. She seems like a good person. And then I came back and it's like, "Do you want me to pray for you?" And I said, "If you're not comfortable praying here, you can pray later." And then I said, "I gotta blow my nose," and she thought that meant I didn't want her to pray for me. I said, "Oh no, I had to blow my nose since I came out of the bathroom. I'll be right back." And then we didn't pray for each other right then, but I'm sure we did after. Anyways, I did pray for her later. I'm not going to right now mention what she needed prayers, and I'm not going to mention right now what I needed prayers for. But I say is I did pray. The first thing I wrote down, I had my little notepad. So I have my little Temu bag. This is a bag I can wear around my neck, and it's like the size of a wallet. And inside I keep, like, that way I don't have to regular bag. I just wear it as a lightweight necklace type thing. And then no one can steal my bag. No one can steal my money, or I don't have any money, but all my important stuff in there. It's right around my neck, and no one can take it. And so they had these bags for like less than $2 on Temu. So I got several colors, because you got to spend $20 on there to get free shipping. So anyways, these are great. I already had them, and then I had them like a few months before I went to the soup kitchen. So this is good news. And I got them because I was biking, and I was wearing the backpack, and like it's not always comfortable to wear a backpack or to have like a crossbody bag on when you're riding a bike. So I was just looking for something real small. I could just put like a card in or a key or something. And so Temu had really cheap, they are just real thin, like they're like nylon, like maybe this big, and then it has a strap, and I adjust it so it hangs right here. It's actually like more convenient than a fanny pack and less embarrassing, less humiliating, but they were great buys. And so in that, I had all my important stuff as well as a mini notepad, and I took it out, and then I wrote down her name and what she needed prayed for. And then she also mentioned another place that does like some free breakfast at 8 in the morning on Sunday. Like, I'm going to get up then. I don't want to stay up all night to go there, but it looks like I might have a new mission. I don't know. I might have a new mission. But she was so sweet, so kind. She listened to me. She believed me. I talked to her. I told her something that I need, so maybe she's on it. I don't know. But she said, I'll see you next week. Because she comes in like one day every week. So this was probably a divine meeting. And then went home, fed my dogs. They loved their food, but then they got into a fight at one point. They were fighting over the food, or like, you know, if one gets in front of the other or something. And so they don't draw any blood or anything. It just looks really bad. So then that's it. I put the rest away, and I'm like, you know, you guys are going to do that, then the food goes away. And then I checked some messages, and I don't remember what else I did. I was really tired. I just wanted to go to sleep, but I stayed up because there wasn't that much time before dinner. if lunch is at noon, it's 11:30. I'm always a little bit late, and then dinner is at 4:30. The lunch is huge. Like, this could be planned out a little better, but I understand people want to get home early and they don't want to have it out too late, and that would be unsafe. But anyways, I'm going when I bring my leftovers back. Then if I get hungry at midnight, then I've got something to snack on as well. So anyways, I went in the evening, and there wasn't as much as I thought. They normally don't have as much for dinner, but it seemed like much less this time. And actually, I put a lot in my bag. I just had some like reusable grocery bag. Those things you used to be able to buy for $1. Now they're $2. But anyways, I bring that with me, and then I put like some cheap plastic bags, like the kind you get at the grocery store, in there. And then that way, if I need to wrap up food, and so stickies don't get on my bike basket, and I can bring it with me so no one can poison it when I leave it. Anyways, so in the evening, they didn't have very much. They had pizza, they had some fruit, you get one dessert. I went through when they called seconds, I got a second dessert. So, and then there was a lot of these little wrapped like snacks that were for children. But those are actually pretty good too. So I actually put those in my bag to go. And so most of the pizza had pork on it. But they did have like a cheese and then a vegetable. And I pointed, and I didn't realize the vegetable pizza also had pork on it, so I didn't eat that either. So I ate one piece of the pizza, and I ate like 4 tiny little oranges, and then I had two donuts. One was chocolate and one was iced. So each time, like, I got the last good one. So I got the last chocolate donut. I had a chocolate donut for lunch too. And then I went through again and I got the last iced donut. The other ones were probably okay, but they weren't really sweet. Like, they didn't look yummy, like. So that was good. And then I got some snacks to bring back. Oh, they had some Lay's potato chips there. Those were donated. Remember those Scooby-Doo snacks, the chocolate ones. But I try to take a lot of those packaged snacks back. And then I ended up sitting kind of next to a couple, like an older couple. Actually, the woman was 1 year older than me. And she was with a man in his 60s. But they were a good match. And he was probably healthier than her, so they might live the same amount of time. It looked like she had some health issues. But anyways, I could tell, like, it looked like she had kind eyes. The thing is, Kingdom of Darkness always tries to trick me, and God veils me, so I don't trust anyone the first time. But I do believe she was a good person. She said, oh, I used to be an addict, or she's like, you're new here. And I said, no, I've been here almost 2 years. And she said, so you're new here. And I said, what do I need to know about this place? And we were talking for a while. And She used to be an addict, and she quit. And she quit because of her partner. So I guess she was talking about the man that she was with, that they were a match. But he was in his 60s. He looked like in the Hayao Miyazaki movies. Like there's always like an older guy, who's got like the mustache and he's got like the glasses on, and he's like kind of a nice, quiet older man. That's these are the anime movies, like the Ghibli films. He looked kind of like that, and and she was a larger woman. She had some health problems, but she had kind eyes, and she looked pretty young though, considering everything. Like, but but I could tell that she wasn't an addict anymore, and I could tell like that she was a good person. But I never trust anyone the first time. Still, anyway, so we talked quite a bit, and at the end of this, basically they live off grid, so they own a piece of land and they have a vehicle, but it's like they live in a camper, which may or may not be allowed. And so the way they do things different to like they don't have power, they don't have electricity, so if they need to charge something, they go to the vehicle, and then they were trying to stock up and bring a lot back with them. From the soup kitchen, but she said how she got clean was that she was with that man, and he said he like something like he wanted to marry her. He wasn't going to do it unless she quit the drugs. She stopped being an addict, and she said that she quit in 2 months. She quit for love. She quit drugs. So it is possible, but she's basically saying everyone at the soup kitchen is an addict. And I mentioned I was from Columbus and I was from here, and she's like, oh, and she mentioned that was a good thing. She's like, oh, great, she came, she did something right. She not that I didn't do anything else. That's not what I mean. But she complimented me that I left Columbus and came to where I live now, which is better than Columbus. So that was good. A lot of people that aren't addicts, they kind of look at Columbus as being good, and where we live as they look down on compared. Like they don't think this is as good. But actually, I think this is better to live here. And she, probably for different reasons, knew there was more people and maybe more problems in certain parts of Columbus, or they were able to live off-grid out here where they wouldn't be able to. So, anyways, at the end, she tried to give me ramen noodles, and I kept trying to say, no, I can't take them, I'm not using my stove. And then she's like, I'll bring you something to cook. I'm like, no, I can't. And because of the mice, I'm trying not to... I've got many reasons that I'm not cooking. The plumber's got my stove dirty. Part of my stuff is broken. I don't have a range hood. So it just puts moisture into the house and gets the cabinets wet. Now I was trying to get rid of the cabinets, actually. Like, that's not that big a deal. But I don't want to, like, damage the house even more by just pumping moisture into the house. I really noticed a lot of condensation on the bottoms of the cabinets. It's not helping things. There is no exhaust vent in the kitchen at all. There is no exhaust vent in my bathroom when I take a shower. That is now broken. So anything that puts more humidity in my house, I don't want. And then I also get mice in here if I cook. If there's any smell of food, the mice get in here and get into more stuff. So I'm trying to keep it very clean in here. Anyways, like, no. And finally I didn't take them. And then as it was time to go, and she tried to give me an orange, I'm like, no, I already ate 4 of those little. And she's like, I got a whole bunch at home. I'm like, no, and she tried to give me, and I'm like, fine. She tried to give me a little bag of the Lay's chips. I'm like, fine, I'll take that. I'll eat that. I'll take that, or something. I said, I'll eat these. Not that particular bag, but, because that would keep for a while and stuff. Because I do remember a few days ago seeing the video saying not to take things from bad people. Don't take any gifts. Don't take gifts from bad people. Well, I don't think she's a bad person. I don't. But at the same time, I just, this is the first time that I met her. So I'm trying to be really careful. People keep trying to give me stuff, and it's usually bad. It's usually to curse me. So even though I think that she was trying to do it to be nice, I'm trying to be careful to not curse myself and not take anything that other people give me. So, yeah, actually, I did tell the woman that was volunteering at the soup kitchen. I did tell her which house I lived at, and maybe the narcissist spotter overheard. That would be cool though, because if he already hasn't been going around asking about me finding out, because people do know, I did tell several people where I live. Then if he just found out from overhearing, eavesdropping on my conversation, he just found out where he lived, he can go look it up on Google Maps, and he can see the historical landmark sign, the symbol on my property, which is a fortress, which means that I sent out attacks. So I attack the enemy, and I am protected. You know, like a turret is. So in the castle, there's a turret. And so, like the soldiers will like go up in that turret and they'll shoot arrows between like through these little things so that they're protected. So they send out enemy attacks, but it's like protected inside. That's what that symbol is. The historical Reese. No, he's messing up my bed. No, the symbol. If you go to Google Maps, the symbol on my property is a turret, a castle, like a fortress, where you send out attacks and you're protected. So you're protected from the enemy, they can't get in, but you can attack the outside. So they'll see that, and I don't know if they'll get afraid or not, but you know, maybe it'll just be another little thing. Maybe they'll want to come after me more. I highly doubt. They already do. So if they have asked about me and found some things out, then maybe they're reconsidering a little bit, because God has like walked me through things and protected me to where it really doesn't look good. When people have come against me and bad things have happened to them, and so then if this narcissist is going out trying to find out more about me and the people that tried to attack me in the past and what happened to them, he might find out a few things. And then if he finds out where I live, and then he looks, and then there's a fortress, like, symbol, Google Maps put a fortress symbol on my property, then that looks pretty cool. And, the other day when I met with the man, or I didn't meet with a man, so there was an older man who's a grandfather, at the soup kitchen yesterday evening, and he had his grandkids there in the evening. So he was there for lunch without his grandkids, and they're teenagers, they're bigger, like big kids. And then for dinner, they were there, and we talked a bit. And he asked me, I mentioned I was married. He said his ex-wife died, so he had brought this up, and then, like, I don't know, shortly after that, because it was appropriate at the time, I mentioned I married the devil, and then he asked, "What's his name?" What, or not like disbelief. He's like, "What's his name?" Like normal. It didn't seem like there was a motive behind it. But, you know, God might have been veiling me. And if God was veiling me so that it looked like there was no motive, and I told him the name, and then this information gets back to the narcissist, and then the narcissist looks up who my ex-fake husband, and sees what happened to him, then he might be a little afraid. He might be a little bit intimidated. Because I don't know. I haven't talked to him, you know. I haven't talked to him, but I can imagine he's going nuts. They can see that he's been trying to take me down and has failed. And that the serpent that was in him was afraid and withdrew. Maybe it's back when it's got a different supply. I don't know. But, maybe not. Maybe it's just in hell. Because they are pretty silly. But if this new narcissist found out the name of my ex-devil, ex-fake husband, then he could do a little research or ask around in the kingdom of darkness and find out, how is he doing? Chances are it's not very well. I don't think he is doing very well. Now, no one will tell me this. No one will admit this to me. But I think he had to kill his lawyer because they couldn't do anything. I still have to... This thing is still not over yet, but I don't know. I have a feeling like he is burning all his bridges. He has lost all his credibility. He probably looks like he's nuts. Maybe his own lawyer fired him, or maybe he fired his lawyer. He's not going to be in a good situation. He's probably been demoted. I think that the demons and stuff, like, if if the narcissist is possessed, it's a Nephilim, is possessed with other spirits, and then they have more abilities, or they can even get someone out of hell that knows how to do something like carpentry, and put them in the body. They do it, and then they leave. Okay, so but they get demoted if they fail their missions, and then the more powerful, more intelligent demons get kicked out, and then what you're left with is kind of a caricature, kind of something silly, that's easy to see through, and now is no longer able to hold a decent job. So they're not in a good situation. So, anyways, this woman, she was finally able to give me something on the way out, which was a bag of chips. But still, me being suspicious, I thought about it on the way back. It's probably fine, but just in case, I'm not keeping these. And so I looked at the bag. Oh, they were also giving out bags of pizza, too, at the end. Pizza bag, handed them out. And I'm like, okay, I knew it was going to have ham in it. But all of the pizza in the bag had pork on it. Every single one. And that's okay, because I saved someone else from eating it. What happened is, and I thought about it, and I'm like, I'm not going to eat this. I don't want it to go to waste. I don't think it's right of me. Pork is an abomination. I cannot give this to another human being. So what I ended up doing was just, I gave my dogs pieces of pizza. And they were really happy. They got to eat pizza for dinner. And they ate pork, and I also did not allow the pork spirits to possess my dogs. I told them they were not allowed, because I am the guardian of these dogs. And I do not allow the evil spirits to possess. They are forbidden from possessing my dogs. Maybe they were influencing them earlier when they got into their fight, because I think that sometimes that I had given them a little bit of pork like recently, and then they were fighting a bit. So it could have been some pork spirits. So I told them they're not allowed. And there was no fighting this evening. They were all very happy. So maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe it's not. I don't know. So anyways, after taking the pizza with sausage and pepperoni out, like they couldn't use beef or chicken. No, only pork. Even though pork is bland and doesn't even taste good. Make pepperoni with beef, it tastes way better. Just put the same spices in, but no. The only substitute for pork is turkey, which is a horrible substitute that tastes nothing like seasoned pork. Nothing, but beef could taste better, but they don't want it to taste better. They want it to be pork, which is an abomination, or turkey, which does not taste good. It's a taste bud abomination. And anyways, so I gave the pizza to my dogs, and what I had left was like several breadsticks. I'm like, I'm not going to eat this. I was stuffed. I had plenty. I had 2 donuts, and I had a couple pieces of pizza, too. And I had my own thing of chips, and then I had to give away this other bag of chips just to be safe, even though it's probably fine. It's not getting passed on to anyone else. It's just the kingdom of darkness curses things and gives them to me. Now, if I give that to someone else, the spell is not on them. The spell is on me. So that's why me specifically, am not supposed to take things. And other people going through the process that are being targeted. Other chosen ones are not supposed to take things, unless it's a good person. And she really seemed like a good person, but it was the first time I met her, so I'm really not sure. In my past experience, God doesn't let me know who it is right away. The second time, God lets me know. Or after I go home, or something. So anyways, I had this bag of chips, and then I had 2 apples I got from the soup kitchen the day before, 2 little apples, and I wasn't going to eat them. And then I didn't want to waste this food. So then I asked God, if there's, for somebody that needed it, for someone that needed it, or somebody that would eat it, not someone necessarily that needed it, but somebody that would eat it, that could use it to get this food. So I just went and I started walking around my block. And so I started walking one way towards the neighbor's house. There was some weird snowplow in their driveway, and I looked at it a minute, and I didn't go in there. It didn't seem appropriate. There was a snowplow, they looked like one of the city trucks. And so then I crossed the street, and I looked there, and that's like a house that had Haitian migrants in it. I don't know they're there anymore. There might not be. But I've never talked to them, and I passed another house, and I have no idea who lives there. I guess they're secretive, too. And then there's a house there with a lot of children. I've given them something before a few times, and they have a bunch of holiday decorations up, and it just didn't really seem appropriate. And then I saw a person at the end of the block shoveling snow. And I thought, and I was walking slowly towards her. And then I get down there and I ask her, I got this food here, and I asked her if she could use it or want it or would eat it, and she's like, no, no. And I said, oh, so everybody has food then, and nobody needs anything. I said, well, that's a good thing then. That's a good thing. And so then I cross the road, and I'm going back towards my house on the other side of the street. As I walk a couple more houses down, and as I walk past this one house, the door starts to open, and a young man, probably in his 20s, starts to walk out. Right as I'm walking past, he starts to walk out. And I'm like, hey, I've got some snacks here. And I said, I'm trying to give them away, so I don't want them to be wasted. And then he actually gladly, he's like, oh, thank you. And he gladly took them. So he was probably hungry. He was probably hungry. I don't know if he has a vehicle. So I don't know for sure whose house this was. But it's probably, he seemed like college age or maybe a little older. But maybe there was a lot of snow. Not everybody has a vehicle, especially younger. So maybe he was hungry. And this was not fancy food. This is breadsticks from the soup kitchen, a bag of Lay's chips, and 2 apples. Not much, but I didn't want to waste this. And I already gave my dogs so much food. They didn't need any more. And I'm going to go back tomorrow, so it's good to give them meat and stuff. But so he opened the door right as I walked past. And so he was probably hungry. And maybe there wasn't anything to eat, so it wasn't anything great, but I just didn't want it to be wasted. And I've had like several apples this week. The soup kitchen, and then there was a community Thanksgiving meal, and they had apples. Or no, there were apples there. Well, anyways, there are always boxes with apples, and there's always tons of apples at the soup kitchen. And they're not the best apples. They're not like fancy or anything. And they usually get a whole bunch of them in right before they start to go bad. So maybe this was a little mission from God. Maybe somebody just like said, I'm hungry, or I wish I had something to eat, or they're thinking I want something to eat. Open the door. Here's a snack. Maybe they don't really like the apples, and the breadsticks are like meh. But then there's a bag of Lay's potato chips, and I know those are good. But I already had my own, so I had 2 I brought back. The one from the woman and mine. So I still have mine, and I'm going to eat it when I'm hungry here, and I don't have anything else. So, anyways, that happened. And I'm back in my home, and I'm going to try to, I don't know if I can make it to the breakfast, just 'cause I'm not even hungry. Like, I have been awake early enough to go to the soup kitchen when they're supposed to give away coffee and donuts in the morning. But I'm hardly hungry at 11:30 when they have lunch. So, in several days my stomach is just upset. Maybe that's a sign from God that I'm not supposed to go yet. But maybe God will want me to go at some point. And the free breakfast at this other place is 8 in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning. Maybe I'll start going to bed at midnight. I always stay up past that. But I actually would have had enough sleep. In the last few days, I've been waking up. Like, I set an alarm on my computer, which only works when I have enough sleep. And I already should get up, but I'm just laying in bed, and then I go back to sleep for a while. So I have the alarm set. I'll get up before the alarm goes off, and I don't have enough sleep. And now I'm tired. Or after I eat my lunch, I'm tired. But I didn't get enough sleep during the night because I just woke up. I woke up without enough sleep. And it wasn't the dogs being bad. They were laying down. They were resting too. So I don't know. So this is, I did not go to the gym today. Nothing else. The sidewalks were covered in a lot of snow. Just the timing of the trucks wasn't good. And if the roads are going to be like this, and the sidewalks are going to be covered in snow, then I guess I'm going to bike in the road, even though that's not really safe. It's probably safer. Doing an exercise machine to bike through the snow up the hill. I guess I could do it, but I don't know. I just don't really feel like it. I'm tired. If I had a vehicle, I could have driven to the gym. It says something funny. There's these scam things on Facebook where they're drawings to win a free car. And I said, fill this out. And then I thought I did. And then you get through most of the way, and then it won't let you fill out the rest of the way. And then it says, you are selected the winner. Now fill this out so that you complete and you win. It's like, you won. Now fill this out. And then it says you need to install an app. I don't have a cell phone. So I went through and I clicked it twice. And then I put in my, then the link was different the second time. And then I put in, like, my address and information again. But I think that if this actually is a real giveaway, I filled out a bunch of crap to enter in the first place. Then I win. Then to actually win after you win, you got to do it again. And that if that includes installing an app on your cell phone, I don't have a cell phone. So I really doubted this was a real giveaway in the beginning. But with how God works and how weird my life is, I thought, well, just maybe, because I'm supposed to get restored. Maybe this scam-looking giveaway thing is real, and everybody else thinks it's a scam. And then they said, you won, you've been selected. Now fill this out to get your free car. And it says, install this app on your cell phone. Yeah, I see what it is. Then I clicked a different thing, and then I was able to do like a little bit of it. But then you get to the point and it asks you yes or no, and then it's the one where you can't select no. No, I don't need this thing that you would need to pay money for. So it's like a scam and a half. So there is a very small chance that a new vehicle will be delivered to my house. So though I highly doubt it, but God knows I need a vehicle, and it said I won. But then it said I needed to install an app on a cell phone, and I don't have a cell phone. So this is just, I'm thinking, like, when I'm restored, of I would like to sue every business that gives people, like, prizes or discounts when they use an app, for giving people brain cancer for using cell phones. Because I can use an email, there's other ways. You could use snail mail, regular mail, but there are certain promotions that are app only. But I don't have a cell phone. And the thing is, even if I had a bunch of money, I wouldn't want it because it gives you brain cancer, and it messes with your DNA. Your cells communicate at a certain frequency, which is the same frequency the phone was set at. And this is not good. I think it's contributing to the brain dead zombies walking around. You get the jab and you have a cell phone, you're toast. That's why we're in the end times right now. So anyways, every business that has incentivized, or actually like McDonald's, you can only claim your little coupon ticket things if you have a cell phone. You can't do it on a website. You can't use your email. You have to have a cell phone. They need to be sued for brain cancer right there. And Panera, they had $1 cup of soup only with a cell phone app. Panera, you need to be sued. And this giveaway thing, everyone probably already thinks is a scam. But if this doesn't work and they say because I didn't respond, they need to be sued. I think I'm going to go after everyone that fucked me over. All of you guys are going to get sued once I'm restored or something. Because the tiger still has ads. And it's winter, and I'm not allowed to do certain things yet. But maybe when I'm restored and my life is more comfortable, then I'll be in a better position to start suing people. And I think everyone that has forced people to have, like every business that forces people to have a cell phone to get a discount. And then if you don't have a cell phone, like the poor people are too poor to have cell phones, they don't get a discount. So only the people with cell phones. So they should get sued for giving us brain cancer and making people stupid. Anyways, that is what happened today. I think I'll make some instant coffee at home. The soup kitchen has some fresh hot coffee. They don't have it for dinner, just earlier. And I'll make myself some great value instant coffee, and I'll watch some YouTube videos. Maybe I'll go to bed early. I don't know. I would like to get to bed a little earlier because I'm pretty tired, but you never know what could happen. This is December 2nd. I should be calling, I should not be. In the past, I should have been calling and wishing someone a happy birthday, but I think I'm being obedient to God by leaving enemies behind. So, um, I didn't want it to be this way, and it wasn't my decision. But I have to follow God and do what God wants. And if I just do what I want, because I don't want to hurt anyone, even if they hurt me, but I got to do what God calls me to do. And same for you. If God calls you to do something, that you should follow that. And it's always going to fly in the face of convention and what's appropriate, um, what's socially acceptable. But that's what I'm doing this year. And I'm waiting for. I remember when I met the woman for lunch who was volunteering at the soup kitchen, and she asked, and I was like, "You want to know what?" Or she asked me if she could pray for me, and then like I had to wash up, and it was just we were talking normally, and I was like, it came up like, oh, do you know what I need prayed for? Or she asked what I needed prayed for, or I told her, and the first thing I said was restoration. And I said, not just for me, but for everybody. Restoration. Pray for restoration. Um, we need it. The world desperately needs restoration. Um, I don't know how much longer I can go like this. I'm just feeling tired. Maybe this is witchcraft, making me feel sleepy. It could be witchcraft. Okay, thanks for watching. God bless you all.